Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Clovis.
Hi, Elijah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Right. Can you hear me and see me clearly?
I can hear you?
Can you hear me and see me clearly?
Yes.
Nice. This is Moses.
Hello, how do you pronounce your name?
This is Moses. Moses.
Moses. Okay. Hi, Moses.
Fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very good. Very good to see you guys.
I see you too.
So you guys are outside?
Yeah, we're outside.
And where, do you have two other people or is it just you two today?
One more colleague is joining us. Brian is not going to be with us today. The other colleague of ours who's a business partner kind of, and the entrepreneur is not joining us today. However, Francis is coming within, I think, the next 2 or 3 minutes. He's on his way coming.
Okay, how about I am recording, just so you know. I'm just going to put on pause and I just have to get milk for my tea. So I'll just be back in a sec, okay? Okay. So, just so you know, we are being recorded, right? So have you ever worked inside a video conferencing tool like this?
Some time back, I was talking to a friend using Skype.
Right. I guess the main difference between this and Skype is this can record the call.
Okay.
And it also, you can kind of go back and forth between, like now, this will edit this. So as I'm speaking, it'll switch back and forth to you and I in the edit. And as soon as you press end, it comes out as a video file, an audio file, and a text file. So you basically can have classes online, and you can do, and you can, to me, it's like whatever you're doing is you're building a story. You're having people buy into your story, and this is a way of actually creating the story online for free with a pretty sophisticated video conferencing tool. So,
okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, people are going to see who you are just by watching this video. So, to me, one question is building your credibility for getting people around the world to go, hey, we want to support you, right?
All right.
So maybe before your friend comes, each of you could introduce yourself and give a little bit about your history and what you want to do.
Of course, my name is Clovis, and Ategeka. I'm a professional teacher, and I'm much more into entrepreneurship and business. I'm interested in supporting young men and women to pursue their dreams through education. I'm 30 years old, I'm married, and right now I'm here in Uganda. So briefly, that is me for now.
My name is Moses Sempala, a professional teacher and a young entrepreneur who had an idea of starting up something that can help build our career and even the career of the young ones behind us. I hold a bachelor's degree in education, and Clovis and Brian and Francis are my colleagues, and we have an idea behind us of helping our young ones through education and establishing the school. That's it for now. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm Igantieff, and I'm I guess a bit of an inventor here in Canada. And we have come across each other through Facebook. And this is the beginning of, I guess, a journey together to see how we can help one another and how Canada and Uganda can perhaps forge some ties, and looking at perhaps, from my point of view, seeing if you would like to use the work that I've been theorizing for many years, and to see if you would like to adopt the Inflow Matrix as an operating system for your school, and for me to help you to, I think at the beginning, to help you with your document, your business plan, and to perhaps bring in some other people from around the world to help in a new way. Like, we're looking at creating an international educational system that's good for all human beings, and for each of us to share from around the world different things that may have never been shared before. And so what I'm interested in is you guys are starting out, you guys are beginning something new, and it sounds as if you want to create something innovative and different for your country. And if I understood you right, half your country is under 15? Or is it under 8?
Yeah, it's under 35, under 35.
Oh, okay, well that's different then. But so half the country is under 35. But you have a large percentage of youth, right?
Yeah.
So what's the current situation of education in Uganda? Like, what do you guys want to do that's different?
Currently, if you look at our system of education, it's, you know, we are colonized by Britain. So our system of education is it's foreign. When the British came to our country some time back, several years ago, they were interested in creating people who can attend to officers, who can do clerical work. But as you know, that the times have changed, and as the times have changed, our governments have not come in to address these changing needs. So we are still caught up in the old system of education. So our approach is in such a way that we shift from the colonial system of education to a system of education that addresses the needs that we have now at the moment in the country. Things like unemployment, things like theoretical education are so rampant. And then we need to create this kind of school which is hands-on, which is practical, which can address the needs that exist in the country at the moment.
And what stage are you guys at in your project? Like,
as far as the project is concerned at the moment, is we've done the paperwork, we've done mobilization on ground, we've talked to some parents, we've talked to a big number of students. We've created really a big network on ground here. So we've done the mobilization on ground. What is really lacking at this stage is have the finances to put these ideas into practical work.
and I think from what I'd understood that it was under $20,000 that you needed.
Yes, under $20,000. Probably one of the reasons we came up with such an amount is we identified already a place in existence where we can start for now, so that within the next 5 years, we should be able to, the school will be self-sustainable, to generate its own money, to construct better buildings for us, and to have more resources when we are generating resources from within our own school.
And so I had sent you earlier a bit of information about the Time Translator, a map. Remember about the sort of may look a little bit different there.
Yeah.
And what was your impression of that?
When you sent me the Time Translator, it was not so detailed. To me, it looked like it was a new concept to me, and honestly, I had no idea on how to use it, and I was looking forward to hearing from you on how it works.
Okay. Well, that's.
In the meantime, Francis has arrived. our
Okay.
third partner. Maybe you can say hi to you.
Please.
Yeah.
Hi, yes, Elijah. My name is Francis.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice
I'm
to meet
happy.
you.
Please. I'm so wonderful and grateful for you.
Well, how about introducing yourself a little and perhaps how you came across meeting your friends here and a little bit about you.
Thank you. I'm happy that for the last 8 years I'm in the field of this sector, education. I'm happy that I've met my colleagues in the same department, and for the last 5 years, I met my colleague Clovis here, who is having the same philosophy of education like me. So with a dream, with thoughts, with ideas about the establishment of a school, he has been so close to me. I'm happy with Moses, whom I've traveled at least for the last 2 years, but particularly for this 1 year, we have been close friends and working together here and there to build our leadership, skills, and empowering the learners. So I'm very glad that I have these people with me within the field of this education. Personally, as you asked for my background, in this sector, I own a bachelor's degree in philosophy and a postgraduate diploma in the education for secondary level. So I'm married to one child and I'm happy with my family. So I'm so glad that I can be with you. I'm just an inspiring person, so passionate, so motivating, and I like transparency in work done and accountability, result-oriented, and the delivery to authenticity. So I stand on these pillars and I feel that there is something lacking in the education system that we need to come and enrich our younger ones. The philosophies, the thoughts, the esteems. I look into this and see that our young ones between 12 to 17 years need an impartial education that has critical thinking, that has a pragmatic approach, that they can stand in the world and change the world around them from themselves. They have to stand on themselves, create the passions in them, the desires in them, and then become important people. So this is what is me, and this is what I'm proud of in my life for the last 34 years on earth. Please.
That's excellent.
You're welcome.
So it's very inspiring to meet you face to face after communicating for a few, I guess, weeks now, and to meet you all. I think this is a very groundbreaking possible connection. I mean, there's a sometimes they say you have to leave your own country, and I must admit that I don't really have any large organization using the operating system that I've been developing in reality. Like, I've been working in theory and testing things for about 25 years in a very strange way that no one would do. I've been mapping information. I've been trying to figure out how to organize the structure of information so that we actually change the direction of our species. Because my assumption growing up has been that our species seems to be a bit insane, and whatever you've been going through with colonization, or whatever anyone's been going through with the insanity of the sort of like the bigger powers, the normal people of the planet now are going kind of like, can you just stop it so that we can live? And I think that this is part of it, where we're actually talking, from Canada to Uganda in a way that this would never have occurred before, and it's not costing us anything, and we can slowly develop a relationship which might be very beneficial for everybody. And I'm very honored to be speaking with you, because we are speaking.
Interesting.
I mean, so And so I'm going to show you something, and you know, again, this is different than perhaps maybe what you've seen or anyone has seen, and what we're looking at is time. Is the assumption is that the normal calendar system is a bit of a scam. Like there's no such thing as 12 months, but there are 13 moons, right? So it's kind of like the Romans came in and decided they wanted to take everything from everybody, but to impose a certain calendar system on all these cultures. And now we might say that maybe it wasn't the best thing to do, but everyone's using it right now. And so this map, which might look a little strange, is called the Time Translator. And what it does is it has 9 rings of time. And so on the outside is the zodiac. That is, have you guys ever done astrology?
Yeah, I've done astrology.
You've done astrology? Okay, so it's basically the arrangement of the planets in the sky when you're born, and then all the planets are moving around in cycles. So the larger time context are all the planetary cycles. So you've got Saturn of 28.5 years, you've got Jupiter of 12 years, Mars of 2 years, Venus of 9 months, you know, Mercury of 3 months. And so they're all moving around. And then you have the next ring this is a year of 13 moons. So you've got all the cycles on the outside, and then you've got 1 year, and then the next thing is 1 moon cycle, and then the next ring is 1 day. So this ring fits in that section, and this ring fits in that section. And so you've got your whole lifetime, your year, your lunar, and your day as your 4 outer cycles. The next ring in is from the Mayan calendar. Have you guys ever heard of the Mayan calendar?
I checked the Mayan calendar, the last video you sent me. I did some more research about it. It looks very interesting. I listened to some audio about some gentleman from, I think, Denmark or Sweden, and he had a lot to say about the Mayan calendar.
It's a very advanced timing structure that the Mayans had. And there was the video I sent you of Jose Arguez. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well. He was, whether a prophet or a very advanced human being, he came up with his own kind of take on the timing structure. So the Mayan elders, there's a controversy, just so you know, because there's different interpretations of time. But just this ring has 20 glyphs or energy signatures, which are linked into the Mayan calendar, or his version of it. And then you go in for hours and minutes, and then the present moment, and then this beam here is timelessness. So the idea is that within the present moment, we can achieve timelessness, which is levels of thinking, like levels of frequency, higher levels of consciousness. So we're putting together 8 versions of time, and then 1 version of no time that has levels of consciousness that within like the Hindu traditions and the Buddhist traditions, and I'm sure some of your own traditions, that there's different ways that the mind can sort of access the world, and that someone like Jesus or Buddha or any of the other prophets are telling people there's a different way of accessing the world, and they, to me, would be at higher levels of consciousness. And so what this construct does is it puts together time and consciousness in one map for the mind to use as the central reference point for organizing your mind. Because as space organizes the body, time organizes the mind. So if we want to free ourselves from the old colonial thinking and all of the old paradigm of thinking, we have to change the timing mechanism. So the assumption is that if we use this as our reference point, just to start, that we will be changing the actual way that we will process information together. And then what I've done is built a whole business system based upon that timing mechanism, where you bring in an ethical value system. So values are very important within this. And so each one of those time cycles, you actually can choose a value, and that begins to process. Your values become at the core of your information processing system.
Okay, that's amazing.
And so you can, within this, you each can have a value system that's your own personal individual value system, but then you come together to create a group value system. So one of the assumptions is that if this is used by your school, it's very good for entrepreneurs because it has a built-in business system that's ethically based, that can be designed to match any business.
Okay.
So it's a ready-made business thinking system that's based upon a new timing system that has a built-in value system as its core. Does that make sense?
Very, very fascinating. It is so fascinating.
Well, it seems to be quite a jump for most people. So I'm glad you're interested or still listening. Any feedback or?
No, it's clear we are trying to a little bit increase the volume, but it's very interesting. I mean, it's exciting, and to be sincere, we desire to know more. It's really, we are looking forward to using it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let me put another map on top of it. Just I'll pause just for a second.